Okay, so this video is for those of you out there looking to sell Medicare Advantage and really want to know what the numbers are behind the business. So we're going to talk about the earning potential. We're going to talk about the lead generation overview and really just give you a full from top to bottom analysis of what the numbers really are like in selling in Medicare Advantage so you can decide if it's a really good opportunity for what you're looking for. So stick around. Greetings and salutations. It's David Duford here at Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense Medicare and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. And please do like and subscribe to this channel if you happen to enjoy this video. Thanks a lot. So the purpose of this video is to give you the numbers behind selling Medicare Advantage. And if you're watching this video and you're thinking about getting into the Medicare space and you're considering selling Medicare Advantage products, then this video is going to be perfect for you. We're going to do a detailed dive on gross commissions, on cost of doing business, and all of the other numbers related to assessing what the true opportunity is in selling Medicare, specifically Medicare Advantage, so you can decide if this particular insurance, sales, and marketing strategy is right for you. And I'll just say one side note, I do recruit agents to sell Medicare Advantage specifically. If you want to learn more after you watch this video, there's links above and below, so just check them out to learn more how our opportunity works. So of course, the number one concern that you need to be thinking about when you talk about the numbers behind selling Medicare Advantage is the commissionable opportunity. So when it comes to commissions, you're going to get a difference in what is offered to you depending on where in the country you sell and also for which agency you sell for. So there's a concept I want to explain, and it's called street commissions. And with Medicare Advantage, street commission basically refers to the standard commission level that you would be paid, that in this case, the authorities that be, which regulate Medicare Advantage payout, is what you can expect if you are an independent agent. Now, before we get into this is only if you are an independent agent, or if what the maximal amount is for agents who don't have a lot of other benefits, quote unquote, wrapped up into it. We'll kind of talk about that more. So you might find that other agencies you're looking to join don't actually offer what I'm about to describe. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, we'll talk about in a little bit more detail. So as of 2021, the first time to Medicare payout to insurance agents who sell Medicare Advantage is $540. And the annual renewal on those cases that remain on the book with each passing year is $270. And that's for life. There's no end to it. You keep getting paid $270 in totality for the year. And there's also situations where you'll replace existing Medicare Advantage plans. Perhaps a new plan will better serve your prospect than an old plan. You are paid a prorated commission, which is based off of the $270 renewal rate, but prorated to the actual date that the policy goes into force. So for example, if you were to get paid $270 for the full year, but that plan actually starts on July 1st, well, that's half the year it remains on the books, right? So you're only going to get paid half of that amount, which would be $135. And then the renewal income is exactly the same as a first-time Medicare Advantage plan, which would then put it at $270 payable for life each and every year. Now, again, there are some exceptions here depending on certain states that have higher household incomes. I believe California pays a little bit more, and there's some other state or states that pay a little bit more, but this is fairly accurate across the nation, no matter what kind of Medicare Advantage plans that you sell. There are some carriers out there that pay a heaped commission up front and don't pay renewals. There are some carriers that have that, but those are somewhat of the exception if you're a street level agent where you're paying for your leads and you're getting the full payout. It's about that $540 first time, $270 renewal, or prorated $270 amount discussed earlier. Now, again, you might be looking at an opportunity that doesn't pay the full commission. And if you are, chances are you're looking at something more of along the lines of a captive insurance agency where you are a part of that agency. They're keeping some of that commission you would have earned if you're independent, perhaps a good chunk of the renewal income. Maybe you work in a call center and you get paid per deal as opposed to a vested renewal rate, which means you own the books. And if you leave, you lose the commission. So make sure that you check around in your search for a Medicare Advantage agency to join, because the payout is not all the same. And a couple of side notes here. Don't know if I'm going to talk about this later, but I figured I'd throw this in. Ask if you're vested. You want to make sure that you own your book of business so that you continually get paid a residual. And see if you make sure that you get paid directly from the carriers. That's typically the best setup. Likely, there's trouble on the horizon if you're paid only if you work for them. You should own this book of business, especially if you're buying your own leads. And if you're paid from the company, because it's likely your contract, again, don't know for sure, check your contract, but it's likely many of those contracts follow that you won't be paid if you happen to leave. Thus, you lose out on all that residual income that you earn. So now you know what commissionable upside potentially is, at least in the best case scenario. As with all businesses, there are costs associated with doing business. I would love to just make commission without having a cost, but that's like a unicorn type of setup, and we don't have unicorns. After all, it's just fake. So we always have costs of doing business, and most Medicare Advantage arrangements, at least the ones like what we do, where we incorporate lead programs, certainly as well with other organizations. So what kind of costs can you look forward to when it comes to generating leads to get in front of the Sell Medicare Advantage? Well, it depends, again, on a lot of variables, but what we see most popular in the Medicare Advantage space are going to be something like direct mail leads to send out to your prospects, of which they send back, or some kind of Facebook lead, a digital lead, where they request more information online and then we call or show up at the house and then close them. So what we see in our business as far as enough leads to keep a face-to-face agent or a telephone agent busy is somewhere between 20 and 30 direct mail leads every single week. It depends on your capacity to close and a lot of variables here, but I think this is a good starting point. And again, there's a lot of different lead options out there. What I'm referring to is, again, my cost of for Medicare Advantage agents generating leads. And for us, it's a fixed price of $25 per direct mail lead at the present filming of this, and $14 per Facebook lead. So for example, if somebody used direct mail, that's the ideal way to go, and they buy 20 leads a week, that's 20 leads times $25 a lead. So the total out-of-pocket expense is $500 a week. And if you are writing, let's say, 5 cases out of that, which would be a noble goal, a 25% conversion, so 5 deals over 20 leads is a 25% conversion rate. It's a good goal to go for. Then what you've got to determine is, based on when you're rewriting business, or if you're writing first-year business, what your break even is going to be. So let's say it's July and you write 4 replacement Medicare Advantage plans. You're going to get paid $135 each, so that's $270 times 4, so that's $540. It costs you $500 to acquire those clients. And let's say that 5th one is a first time to Medicare plan. So that's a full $540. So that gives you $1,080 gross revenue with an operating cost of $500. So that means your net income is $580. I'm doing this all on the fly, so hopefully I'm kind of following here. So return on investment here is over 200%. So you gained a 200% increase, or a 2-to-1 really, return on your investment if you were to write deals in July that were replacements for them, in a one-time, first time to Medicare plan where you get the full commission. Now, the first thing that you're probably thinking immediately is, well, that's not a really good return on my investment. I'm giving you $500 and I'm only getting back, after covering that expenses, $580. I mean, it's good money. But compared to other businesses like Final Expense, where if you close 5 deals, you're likely going to have a much larger return on investment and much more profitability after accounting for the cost of doing business leads. And I would say you're 100% right. This is one of the biggest weaknesses of selling Medicare Advantage, or any Medicare policy specifically. It's that in the first year, the residuals, or the first year commission, are much lower than what would be compared to other products like life insurance, Final Expense, mortgage protection, etc. So for the Medicare Advantage agent, what they find out is, especially if they start with Medicare Advantage to begin with and not another product, is the first year and second year tend to be much lower in terms of return on investment, net profit. But the thing is, as we'll talk about a little bit later, the whole idea behind building a Medicare book of business anyway is not what you make in the first year or even possibly part of the second year. It's what you make in years 3, 4, 5, and beyond, because the residual benefits, the commissions continually build up with each passing year as long as you can maintain your book of business. And that's where the real income making opportunity is after you've built this large book of business that continues to pay, because like we said earlier, it's a lifetime stream of income. What really good Medicare Advantage focused agencies will do is offer some sort of subsidy or free lead programs for their most productive agents. For example, at DeFord Insurance Group, that's exactly what we provide for agents that start or begin to do Medicare Advantage with us. What we'll do is, for those who are most productive, apply some sort of discount against their leads, if not completely pay for the leads altogether, depending on your level of productivity as measured by the number of policies you write divided over the total leads you purchased. The reason we do this is because we're as much in the game of building residual income as you are. We want to facilitate the process for you. Maybe you're selling final expense, or maybe you're worried about those lower margins to begin with. We want to make this as easy as possible for you to jump in. And for those people who show us that they're serious people, that they go out there and work, we want to cover your leads so you do not have to worry about making the margins that much more difficult to manage. So for example, if you're a very productive agent and you wrote 5 policies, and if we had you set up on a free lead program, you wouldn't have any cost of doing business. All you'd have your cost to do is just travel to the clients, that kind of cost. But this would free up an additional $500 in net income to you. So instead of taking home $1,080, you would have taken home $1,580, which would have made a huge difference in your cash flow and making this business a lot more palatable for you to do. So make sure, one little tidbit of advice, when you're looking at a Medicare Advantage agency to join, ask about any kind of co-op programs that they have, subsidies for leads or free lead programs. Again, that's what we do. We think it's a smart idea. All agencies should be doing it, especially if they want to be competitive in recruiting the best talent. But it makes a huge difference for you when you're starting to calculate your cost of doing business and trying to extrapolate how much profitability there is, especially in that first year and second year. So as I kind of conclude the basics of the numbers behind Medicare Advantage, this business really is all about scale, okay? Especially in the first, I would say, 2 to 4 years, depending on the level of work ethic that you have. The goal, I think, for most Medicare Advantage agents is to have at least 1,000 clients on the books. 1,000 clients on the books is going to pay $270 each every single year, as long as you keep them on the books, which equates to a $270,000 gross commission before we account for costs of doing business. This is an incredible income. And to write 1,000 clients on the books and to keep them should take 5 years or less, depending on, like I said, your work ethic. But the best way to get to this, ladies and gentlemen, is by scale. And what I mean by scale is what's cool about Medicare Advantage, very much like final expense, is once you're good at running 10 appointments and then closing 5 deals a week off of those, well, guess what? The next level to that is to go up to 20 appointments, 30 appointments, even 40 appointments like some of my agents do, and still holding your conversion rates the same so that you supercharge your production to where you're getting your leads paid for and you're maximizing the amount of take-home pay while also increasing your residuals that much faster. So the goal for my agents when they decide to sell Medicare, which some agents come in directly and start selling Medicare right away. Other agents start with final expense. They're a little worried about the lower cost, the cost of doing business, lower cash flow. They build themselves up to final expense. 6, 12 months later, they move to Medicare. But either way, the goal is to scale up to a high level of production in the first several years of your business, with many agents having the goal to scale back, not completely, but back, so they can realize the passive income lifestyle that's absolutely possible with selling Medicare Advantage. In fact, one of my goals, one of the things I'll be talking about at length, especially I already do with my agents, is to put my agents on a 5-year projection, a 5-year goal, to start if they have to with final expense, but to by year 5, build up to 1,000 to 2,000 Medicare Advantage portfolio of clients so that they're making an incredible passive income well into the 6 figures. And then they can scale back after they put all of this effort in to enjoy the fruits of their many years of labor. I love the Medicare Advantage business because it's really at the cusp, the beginning of a trend of the baby boomers retiring. They're hitting 65, that need help, that want to have a health insurance plan, and there simply isn't enough agents to do it. And with a very simple strategy just like this, to see what the income earning opportunity is, you can really see within a short period of a number of years, you can build an incredible passive stream of income. You can make a lot of money without necessarily in the long run having to work nearly as hard as if you were selling even something like annuities or life insurance, where there's very little to no residual whatsoever. So as you can tell, I'm very passionate about agents getting into Medicare. And if you're out there and you're interested in Medicare, even if you're doing final expense with another organization, I am more than happy to have you join a board without you necessarily having to move your final expense business. I don't need you to do final expense business with me in order to sell Medicare through my agency. That's completely fine. And I think you should, because likely if you're watching this video and you're selling life insurance already, you already see some of the problems long-term you're going to run into. You're going to be grinding it out the rest of your life. And unless you build a team, which you may not be happy or thrilled to do, or diversify into another product that's residual based like Medicare, it's going to mean you're going to burn out at some point in the future. And trust me, I know this is how many agents eventually go to. And I think the beauty of Medicare is it's the same group of people that you're already selling final expense to. It's the same mentality that you're used to in the final expense world. And it's the same sales process. And you just go in there, you learn a new product, you sell them something that they can know, like, and touch and feel. And it's likely they're going to be in a situation where you can really help them out and they'll be extremely appreciative, all while building your passive income flow, all while putting you in a position where you can make money and not necessarily in the long term work as hard as you always have. So if you're interested in selling Medicare, whether you're getting started in insurance sales, whether you're selling final expense already, I want to help you out. Our program is absolutely awesome. I'm super thrilled about how great it is to cover agents' leads in part or in full because of your productivity. We have outstanding training from veterans in the Medicare business. We have, like I said, great lead programs to put you in front of quality prospects. And we have absolute evidence that this program works for an abundance of agents every single day who take what we teach them and put it into action. If you'd like to learn more about how this works in Medicare, click the link above or below, and you'll see how working Medicare Advantage sales and DeFord Insurance Group works. If you have any kind of comments, questions, whatever, leave them below, and make sure you like and subscribe to this video if you haven't already. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.